Welcome to Nonprofit Network, powered by Stokes Auction Group. We are a group of fundraising professionals that specialize in raising funds to improve communities of all sizes. Are we doing it?
Let's do it.
Welcome. My name is Shelby Stokes.
Kelly Shempfeld.
Hey, Polly Schenfeld here. Good afternoon, gang.
Good afternoon is right. This is the Nonprofit News Network or something like that. We're here to talk nonprofits and fundraising events, and we are
And whatever else comes up.
ready to start the fall. The fall is upon us almost.
Fall is coming, guys. It's
End
coming,
of this
coming,
week
coming.
is
Labor Day.
which means September is next week.
Labor Day is,
holy
it's
buckets.
cool because it's Labor Day and what it means, and plus you get a day off and all that stuff. But
Explain what it means, just because people might not know.
it has to do with the labor movement in this country, if I'm correct.
It does.
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm not going to go into much detail beyond that.
No, because you would sound uneducated, as
Yes,
would I.
I would. So
But-
It's for the labor,
It's for the labor, and the memorial is for the dead.
That's
So
pretty
we're
much
good.
what stretch,
Labor and
wasn't it?
dead, the beginning and the end.
But
There
anyway,
you
it's
go.
like it's like for me, it's like it's the end of summer.
Mm-hmm.
Labor Day. It's like we look forward to Memorial Day because it's like yay.
Yeah.
It's like opening up the summer, and then Labor Day is like, oh God.
I, by the way, have a completely different take on the fall now. I am so excited to be going back to work and so excited to
ready.
be getting on an airplane and so excited to be just giving all of me to the organizations
That's right.
that night. I am thirsting
Hungry.
for it.
Hunger. Summer basically ended this week. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, Washington area, it went from like 100 degrees to cloudy and rainy within 24 hours.
Cloudy with a
Yeah,
chance of
it did.
meatballs, yeah.
It is definitely cloudy once again. So today we are going to talk about the...
Profiles of donors.
Thank you.
What 3 reasons people give,
Yep.
Basic.
or more
kind of
however many
guideline.
reasons.
Yeah.
Why do people give?
Right. Why do people give? And like the 3 different quadrants. And coming off this last weekend, we had a couple of shows that we're going to talk about and kind of segue into that donor profile. So, Paul, is there anything you want to share about your weekend?
Rotary?
Sure. I was at a Rotary auction in a little town up north by Mount Vernon. I've been doing it. This will be my 11th year with them. Super fun group. I know everybody in the room.
Excuse me.
We've got this event up to about $80,000 now total.
Nice.
And when I started, we were in the mid-20s, and we've just been able to build it. And I just really enjoy these people. And there's about 16 items, and I have a couple of MCs that work with me. One of which was Jimmy's cousin.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so that he's really fun. We did do a heads and tails game this year, but we did it after the Fund and Need, and it happened to be after Last Hand in the Air. We did Last Hand in the Air at the $25 level. We were going to give away 2 bottles of wine in a fancy little wine carrier. And so I decided to do the heads and tails right after that, and I was questioning myself, thinking, is that the right spot to do that? But when they got to the event, they had decided, we're going to play heads and tails, but it's going to be free.
Oh, cool.
Free.
That's neat.
That actually is neat.
It's a really good idea, right? Especially if you're going to place it after Fund and Need like we had to, because there were some other things going on in the beginning. It would have been a logistical nightmare coming off of the $25 level, which I got 60 donations at.
Oh, okay.
Everybody, I eventually had to put a timer on it to stop them, otherwise I'd still be there. And so I thought, count
All 3 days later. And now you're in.
Going once,
Now
going
you're
twice.
in.
Okay. But it was really cool, and it worked out really, really well. I mean, I said, everybody, let's stand up, let's stretch your legs, let's play a little game. Everybody's got to play. And there was about 110 people, and everybody did. And it really worked out really well.
Yeah, I think that if you're using your heads and tails as a revenue generator, that's great. I personally love the galas that are doing heads and tails, and it's free. Because y'all get 1 bead, or whatever you decide to do, right? If they get beads. And not have it be a revenue generator. Have it be an audience development piece. And give away bottle of wine or something like that, or something that you had freely, just really get your audience up and moving. Mark and I have been to those that it's somebody will buy, maximum of 10 beads. Well, then it becomes weird. Then you're, oh, that guy's got, the guy with the most beads is going to win, right?
Right. He's got a fistful of beads
Yeah.
already. It's going to take him a half an hour before he gets done. Right?
Yeah. And so I personally don't know that the Heads and Tails is a great revenue generator as much as it is an audience engagement activity. And I love it when it gets used like that.
We also had a by the head, which was the very last item. It was 24 spots to go to on this winery tour up there. I think Bertelsen Winery, I think it was. And they had questioned me, and I questioned them earlier on in our conversations about, hey, are we going to do this as one package, or do you want to sell it by the head? And I'm thinking by the head is definitely the right way to do it, right? Wouldn't you say 24 spots?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, who's got 24 real friends?
But they had in the package.
Not me.
In the package was 2 gift certificates, one for $100 each. So, because they didn't have a gift certificate for all 24 people, that's a reason why they didn't want to do it by the head.
What was the gift certificate for?
That's a good question. I can't remember.
Because that would kind of determine a little bit, wouldn't it? If it was a gift certificate towards the party, you could use it towards the party.
That's a good question. I
That
don't
is a
know.
hell of a question, actually.
But the point of my story.
Oh, sorry.
Derailed.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm infamous
Here
for doing
comes
that.
the derailer.
Prep me for that question.
Sorry.
Well, I just presented it to the audience. I said, hey, you guys, last item of the night. We're thinking we could sell it as a package or sell it as one. What do you guys think? And 2 or 3 people stood up. Yeah, definitely by the head. Yeah, no, I'll sell it as a package. Blah, blah, blah. I said, all right, what are we going to do? How many people by the head? Boom. All right, we just did the vote. So I just threw it out to them.
Nice.
And then John, the MC, says, all right, let's sell it per person and then do a little raffle drawing giveaway at the party.
Oh, for the $100.
$2
I love that.
gift
I
certificate.
love that.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the way to do that. That's a
And
good
it
call.
worked out really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just fun group. I really enjoy going and seeing these people. Like I said, I've known them for many, many years. A lot of them go to another auction that I do up there, so it's super fun. They've just welcomed me into their family, and
Oh,
I
that's awesome, Paul.
very much appreciate that.
That's really neat. That's really neat. Yeah, we also had a virtual show this weekend, which is something that we got really good at for a while there. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was like a whole virtual world that we lived in. We're sitting in a virtual studio that was birthed out of virtual shows. So it was kind of cool to go back and do that. So Kelly and I were here streaming the production.
I was just his cheerleader.
Well, but so much more. So much more.
Oh yeah,
We had
definitely.
some inappropriate spam comments come through our
Oh
feed,
my God, that
which
was so awesome.
highly entertaining, but also very inappropriate, and we deleted it right away. It was
All of a
bad. It
sudden,
was
Shelby
bad.
goes, I need you over here. See if is that a real comment or is that? And I'm
Oh,
like,
I need
"Let me
help.
read it."
I need
I'm
help.
like, oh no, that's definitely a fake comment. All right, we got to delete that.
Who
Yeah,
does that? What
don't
kind of a person
know.
takes time out of their day
And
To
goes on and
go on a
trolls
stream and
don't
does
know.
stuff like that?
And-
for Carousel Ranch, for
I
goodness sake.
know.
Yeah.
Carousel Ranch,
Yeah,
which
just-
if you get an opportunity, just, you know what? Just do yourself a favor and Google this organization.
Yeah.
Beautiful humans. Beautiful humans.
Yeah, and they had a very good fundraiser, which was pretty cool. And they go out to the ranch. It's a big area, about 36 items, which you don't see a lot of auctions with that many items as often.
Yeah.
And they had a big room and a big party, and it looked like a lot of fun. So
And Shelby,
it was
this
fun.
could kind of launch us into the profile of donors, because the whole reason that they're doing that virtual is because they have a couple of donors, and they're bigger donors, that have requested that they continue to do it virtually so that they can watch it from home. And so, one of the things the thing that we're going to talk about today is the profile of donors, and, why do people donate? And there are times where if this is what one of your top donors requests, it's okay to
You gotta kind of do
you
it.
you gotta do it, and so I know that it feels uncomfortable doing one a year or whatever, but
Yeah.
in my mind,
Well, I think like the way the virtual event broke down is it no longer served a purpose, because the purpose of it was to try to build community over the internet, and you don't do that via a streamed show very often. In this scenario, you have a couple donors that really like to watch it from a remote place, and because they are big donors, the ROI on that investment makes sense. They still feel connected even though they can't be in the ballroom.
ROI is return on investment.
ROI, return on investment. So, I mean, let's talk about the donor profile. You so beautifully set it up. We're basically talking about it fitting into 3 general categories.
Yeah.
You want to hop into it?
Let's do it.
And
got
I
a cheat
think,
sheet.
it might be appropriate to put those in order as, like maybe the last one should be the first reason.
So hit it. So three categories, them being
Yeah, because
support mission.
So that should be number 1.
Yes.
Okay. What's number 2?
Community.
Community and recognition. So those are the 3 main makeups of a donor profile. And, I don't think that it's one of the 3. I think it's a mixture of all 3, one being more important to certain donors.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. So with that said, let's start off with the first one, support the mission. Dive into that.
I think that there are people that, prime example, are virtual, they're going to support the mission regardless if it was streamed or not. But they requested that it could be streamed so that they could see what they were doing with the organization currently. They're still going to support the mission. I think that always spelling out your mission is the number 1 most important part of any fundraising opportunity, whether it be a walk, whether it be a gala, whether it be, selling raffle tickets, lemonade stand. Your mission, you never know who it will touch. You never know who it will reach. And you never know the people that you are asking for money from, what their experiences are, or who they know, or who they're connected to, that this mission is deep for them. And they're going to do whatever it takes to make your evening successful. So I think really pound on your mission, as opposed to just the dollars that you're raising. Because if you pound on that mission and you tell people what we're doing and what's good, they're going to feel more inclined to give. So mission, 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 period.
Most definitely. And a lot of the times, people are drawn into this mission because of a life experience that they are going through or have been through.
Right.
Right? Excuse me, went down the wrong throat. There's a reason.
He has 2 throats. What he meant is the wrong pipe.
There's a
And he has
reason why.
multiple pipes.
Multiple pipes. True.
There's a reason why people want to go and support this event that raises money for cancer or Alzheimer's research. Very likely, it's they or their family or somebody in their circle is living it or has lived it.
Yep.
And then if you get into that circle or you get into that family of that fundraiser, you become a part of that family even after you've gone through your experience and you no longer need the cancer research. Hopefully the results were good.
Yeah.
But then you still are inclined, because of the quality of the event that is put on, that you still want to come back every year and support it because of the focus on the mission, and the community is getting together and everybody there is like-minded.
Yeah, and I think like when you're going to assemble one of these events, really what you want to do is take that mission and then figure out how you want that mission conveyed second or third person, right? So when you go to an event or you hold an event, have some factoids that people will leave knowing. And that way, when they have somebody that's affected by the disease or the organization in some way, shape, or form, they can speak to that and share those factoids that will go on and spread the mission of what you're trying to do.
This is also the opportunity to, it is competitive giving at a gala, right? We know that. But we count on the emotional piece that comes with the bidding also. We count on that emotional piece that the night creates. And using your mission emotionally in the room is the win. right? That's the one place that we can really inject emotion into the mission. It's
Yeah.
hard to inject emotion into community. It's hard to inject emotion into recognition. But your mission, regardless if it's a school or cancer or diabetes.
Yeah, and if you start to look at these three categories and you start looking at the individuals that are in your room and what category they fit into, the support mission type person is going to be much more of a volunteer, right? Somebody that's going to be willing to give of self in whatever capacity that is, whether that be them sharing of their time or volunteering or giving of monies. Like a lot of that motivation is a little bit different than some of these other two, but I think they all kind of run together, right? So when I think of support a mission, I think that's the tip of the spear, right? That's what gets people attracted to the group. The second profile you can fit into is a community-based donor. Talk a little bit about a community-based donor.
I'm confused by that. I'm not going to lie to you. A community-based donor is so that is a donor that is
There to
They
be
want-
part of the community.
Yeah, it's they want
Period.
a sense of community.
Yeah.
sense of community. So you're using that evening or that event to generate dollars from them just being a part of a community. Is that accurate? So that I'm speaking about it properly.
I mean, I find the community to be like essentially you coming and being a part of something bigger than yourself, right? So if it's a local school or something of that nature, you are part of that community and you would be seen within that community.
Gotcha.
Is how I understand that.
And that directly ties in to recognition, right?
It does.
What you just
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
I think it's brilliant, right? I want to be seen here, and not to put it in the sense of selfish or a narcissistic perspective, but it may be for some people.
It may be for some people.
It may be for some people, but
Which
that
will take their money. I mean, hey,
so they,
I got no problem with
they'll
that.
turn it around and make it about them. But still, I think the vast majority of the people in trying to maintain that sense of community do have it's truly from the heart.
Yeah.
It's not about them. It is about the community, and we can all get together and hang out, and we get to raise some money for a worthy cause.
And so knowing these profiles of your donors is as important as what meal you're serving, as your venue, as who you hire. It is right there at the top, because if you understand the profiles of donors and which donors are going to be giving.
I like that. Let's come back to that. Let's come back to that after we talk about this third one. Recognition. If you are a donor that is recognition based, what does that look like? Who are those types of people that are more recognition motivated?
Corporations, for sure. Even though they are giving of the heart, and your connection, your connection to this corporate person is the only way we're going to get that, right? Somebody knows somebody that knows somebody that owns an airline. Right?
You know Richard too? Mr.
You know
Branson,
Richard?
he's the guy.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
But that is how you get that.
Right.
That's the people that the recognition is important for, because if they're donating something corporately, they do need that recognition for their donation, because there's multiple organizations that they're donating
Well,
to.
and we've been documented on this program talking about recognition of names. When somebody gives, speaking their name out loud or giving them notoriety in some way, shape, or form, whether it be on a screen or on advertising, wherever that is. And I think that also plays into recognition. So those three categories being support, mission, community, and recognition, right? That is the general makeup of donors. They can kind of skew in one category or the other. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of gray in between these areas.
So much
too,
gray.
right? And I think that this donor profile can change over the years. When you see a young entrepreneur that's a go-getter that wants to take on the world, in their early 20s, they may be more motivated by recognition. And later in life, it might be more about the community.
Yes.
Right? And I think a person can change
Yes.
over time, right?
Yes.
And I think one category that isn't mentioned there, and you guys can help me because it probably fits into one of those categories, but I think the personal aspect of the donor, I don't know where that one would fit necessarily, but if you are I'll give you an example. We do an organization that the mother of this child, for her 13th birthday, she said, I want cystinosis to go away. Her mom took that and ran with it. And so it's that personal connection that is also huge donors, you know. If they're, find the aunts and the uncles and the brothers and the sisters and the moms and the dads and the good friends
Well, and part
of
of
the
the reason,
mission.
part of the reason I kind of cut you off a little bit earlier to wrap back on this
Super
is
rude.
I think you can really like consider the makeup of your room and think about recognition, community, and the support of the mission. And then you can actually build your event around the majority of your community and how they feel. There's one national partner that we have in American Heart that is phenomenal about displaying and advertising their mission.
Oh, it's
Like,
incredible.
I see
It really
few
is.
others that parallel in terms of the height of execution and education that AHA puts on. When you walk into a ballroom that is AHA, you know why you're there, and you can leave with like 6 factoids.
Yeah.
You know, they are a
Absolutely.
support mission-based organization.
March of Dimes does a pretty good job at that too. March of Dimes is, you know, I mean, we did one where we walked in and there was pictures of Marilyn Monroe with the kids and, you know, stuff like that. Old pictures. Johnny Cash back in his young day. Oh,
wow.
yeah. Plastered everywhere. So mission.
Yeah, and that works for that organization, right? But I think like if you're more of a recognition based crowd, then you're really going to want to lean into names and placards, and this is the Bank of America table, and that's the Chase Bank table. You know, I think wherever your donors are, wherever their heads are at, you can move that event to push in that direction. And what's going to happen is over time, it's going to change. People are going to give for different reasons over the years, but you're going to push in one of these 3 directions more than the other instinctively, because you can't do it all, and you have to focus on where you're putting your time, energy, and resources.
I saw this. I witnessed this last weekend. Recognition. A room full of 110 people. Upper level of funding was $5,000. Typically, we'll get 1.
Which is strong in a room
Which
of
is
100.
strong. I mean, we didn't even introduce $5,000 until
Yeah,
about
that's
3
super
years ago.
strong. Yeah.
4.
Wow.
You got $20,000 out of 110 people.
Yep, on the first level.
Wow.
And I believe that we knew we had 2, but I didn't have their names. But I believe in my heart that the second 2, the number 3 and number 4, were because I said the names of the first 2.
I would think that's.
And we had a level $1,200. 5, 2,500, 1,200, 1,000.
What was the significance of the 12?
Never was told that,
Okay.
but I never questioned it.
Sure.
I thought, whoop.
Yes, sir. I'm doing it.
We
Yeah.
probably got one person in the room that wants to get 12, and I know who that person is. 9.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
That's
I called names all the way down to the $500 level,
cool. Wow.
and we
good for
raised
you.
$55,000, the best funding we've ever had.
That's so cool.
And it goes to me, it goes to that recognition.
Yeah.
And we've had this conversation before. How important is it to say people's names?
Yeah.
Why is it
Yeah, I
important?
just think it's
It is.
super important. I do. Because you know, I think even if that person gave 2,500 this year, they might give more the next year, which is what I think you experienced, because that was the case. They understand that it is appreciated and it is going to be recognized and it is appreciated.
And it's
you
such a
know?
tight-knit community, everybody's going to know everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you,
It's
Tony
fantastic.
and Sally Jones. Oh, I know those two. And oh yeah, everybody's going to know, and they're going to remember. Oh, these guys gave $5,000. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's not a very big town.
and because it's not a big town and because you've been doing it year over year, you're building that sense of community. And as a group, we are going to give, and we know the $5,000 level is coming next year, so we're going to try to achieve that in the year to come. So it's pretty cool.
Would
Yeah,
you real
absolutely.
quick,
Good point.
Would you real quick share the story that Jimmy shared with you,
Yeah.
so that we can kind of
Yes.
launch off that a little bit?
So, next week maybe?
Oh, we could do it next week.
Yeah.
Sure.
What do you think? What do you
Yeah.
think? Yeah, let's do that. It's been a good episode. I think we're about 25 minutes in, which seems to be our sweet
yeah.
spot. But yeah, good story from Jim Youngers to come next week. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about that, like the motivation of some of these items and how they can really leverage a room to go above and beyond. What does that sound like?
Take a new spin on an item that you've had at your event for many, many years.
Maybe it has
There's
to
a
be.
new idea.
How's
Yeah,
that for a
maybe it's a
tease?
grandchild that builds scarves for people.
Are you
Hey.
promoting your Etsy shop right now?
Shameless plug.
No.
Just find me on Zelle, guys. Find me on Zelle. Cash at me if you can. Thanks for joining us this week, guys. We're excited for the fundraising season to start, but not quite before we get through Labor Day. It's going to be a nice, long 3-day weekend. I know I'm looking forward to it. How about you guys?
Yep, doing absolutely nothing.
Right.
It sounds glorious. Thanks for hanging out with us this week and every week. We will catch you on the flip side. Thank you so much.
All right, you guys, be good to yourself and the people around you.
Go out there and build your donor profiles.
And go do good. See you later, guys.
Have a good weekend.
Ciao.
Ah!